Monsters, movies, and mayhem.
Oh man, I look like I'm from the Beatles. I'm the Beatles frontman. The Beatles.
The Beatles.
Did you notice the Beatles are spelled Beatles instead of like Beatles, like the Beatles bug?
Beatles is what? B-E-E. Or B-E-E.
Beatles the bug
Yeah.
is B-E-E-T.
Yeah.
But they spelled it B-E-A-T, like give me a beat. So the Beatles.
See that? Wow, I was this many days old when I just learned that.
That's funny because I found out because I saw TikTok that was like that. I was this many days old when I found out the Beatles is spelled with an A because of the beat.
Alls.
The
Beatles.
Why would they name themselves that?
Stupid. Who cares?
They could have named themselves anything with the music that they were making. Hello, we're the Dingleberries. John, Paul, Ringo. Who's the other one?
George. You're actually really good at that.
It's the glasses, man. If you could just imagine.
It's like that.
Welcome back to Monsters, Movies, and Mayhem. We're your hosts, John and Paul.
You're too good. That's so good. Your Liverpool accent is so dead
My
on.
Liverpool accent is a little different from my Hawk accent. Cockney. That's it.
Your hawk.
You what? You what, mate?
Oi!
It's Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday. Can you get a bottle of water?
What? Can you do a Boston accent?
Well, you think you're wicked smart?
Park your car at Harvard Yard.
Get a bowl of chowder.
Get a beer for a quarter.
Hey, hand me my khakis. Your what? My khakis. Your car keys or your pants? The khakis. My khakis. Beg your pardon?
Can you do an Australian accent?
No.
What is it? Whale oil beef hook.
What is that?
Well, instead of I'll be fucked. Say whale. Oil. Beef. Hook.
Well, oil beef hook. I don't get it.
It sounds like you're saying, "Well, I'll be fucked."
Well, I'll be fucked.
Whale oil beef hook.
Oh, okay. Next time we go to Australia.
Yeah.
Did you know Australia has like?
Did you know Foster's is the Australian word for beer?
I thought that was just a brand. No. Is it not?
No, that's just their slogan.
So it's just a beer? Oh, that's their slogan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's Foster's. I think is non-alcoholic beer.
No, it's alcoholic.
Is it?
Yeah, I had a can before. I only got it because it was like a ridiculously large drum.
It's
and
like
I was like, give me that big ass can of beer.
And then you tasted it, and it's just like, this sucks.
It didn't taste that good. But you know, what are you gonna do? It's Foster's.
Like $2 for a big can of like this big.
I was like, what is this adopted beer? Why is it called Foster's? And why is it by itself around all the other beers?
It quite doesn't belong.
No, it doesn't really belong. You know which beer did belong though? Is
Mickey's.
No, I was gonna say 211. Have you ever had 211?
I have never had a 211.
Do never have 211. 211 is the high school beer because you can't afford any kind of beer, and it was the cheapest one that they had, and it's in a tall can. Mm-hmm. It's 211 Steel Reserve. It's the nastiest beer you could ever drink.
That sounds like
the cheapest.
I was gonna say that sounds like homeless people beers.
It's
like
the kind of beer that you ask a homeless person to buy you.
Like I remember when I worked at Walmart and homeless people would buy two things. A pack of
condoms.
No. I hope not.
You just wish they were raw dogging in the back of Walmart, huh?
No.
Making a what's that the
bum fights?
Bum fights? I was gonna say the kitchen soup.
I don't know.
What's that thing called when you have like a kitchen that's made to serve homeless people.
A soup kitchen?
A soup kitchen, yeah.
A kitchen soup?
Yeah, soup kitchen. They're having a soup kitchen behind the Walmart.
Oh, no.
You never seen the usual guys?
Usual Suspects?
No, it's not the usual. The Other Guys is what it's called.
Oh,
with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Mac Wahlberg.
Gator don't play that shit.
Yeah. But no, a bunch of homeless people have an orgy in Will Ferrell's car, and they call it a soup kitchen.
Oh, that's
We're gonna start a soup kitchen in this car. You guys want to join in? Do they have that behind your Walmart?
No. Okay, so the two things that they would buy when they'd come in is Grand Prix cigarettes. Grand Prix cigarettes are like $4 a pack. They're like the cheapest cigarettes.
Wow.
They come in like little neon green packs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They're cheap and like awful. And Boone's Farm.
What is that?
Boone's Farm is like an alcohol.
It's an alcohol. What does that mean?
Boone's Farm is like cheap alcohol. It comes in like big bottles. And
Okay.
I don't know if it's like wine or something like that, but it's like super sweet.
Oh, okay.
And it's super cheap. So that's why they would get those
Boone's
two.
Farm.
Boone's Farm and Grand Prix cigarettes.
Cigarettes. I wish people who smoke cigarettes were as aesthetically dedicated to cigarettes as pot smokers are. Do you know what I mean? Pot smokers, when
They just
smoke
had tobacco leaf, like symbols on their hats.
a Marlboro jacket, you know, a big old Joe Camel T-shirt. They got tattoos of ashtrays and shit.
Yeah.
Because it's always the pot smokers who have like, I'm gonna get this big old weed leaf tattooed on my arm, and
Like a chain that just has a giant weed leaf on
I'm
it.
gonna have Bob Marley with blood red eyes on my T-shirt, and they all they're super into
No,
it.
it's always like a shirt with like SpongeBob smoking a joint, and he has just bloodshot red eyes
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wish cigarette smokers were like that. They just have big old Marlboro's logos everywhere, and
Just like a person with like one of those things in their neck on their shirt.
they just have that on their shirt. You know?
This old lady smoking a cigarette through her like neck hole.
Yeah, dude, I was smoking so much last week and had two 24 packs of non-filtered tobacco packed cigarettes.
Ugh.
Cigarettes.
I mean, if any mascot would be on someone's shirt for cigarette smoking, it's got to be Dale from King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, Dale.
He's
The last thing I do, Hank, is smoke cigarettes that weren't from Arlen, Texas.
yeah, like he always carries an emergency cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Or pocket sand.
a pocket sand, monkey style. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Should we get into it, or
Do you want to do the intro, or do you want me to do the intro?
You do the intro. I think you're better at it.
The intro? Let's do the intro. Are you ready?
Ready?
I gotta figure out which one is the crowd one. Welcome back to Monsters, Movies, and Mayhem, aka MMM, or as I like to say, I'm your host, Murderface.
And I'm your other host, Brian Little Boy Penis Hidalgo.
There's a reason for that name. Stop. Don't leave yet. There's a reason for that name. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Sleepaway Camp.
And if you're wondering, I don't have a little boy penis.
Oh, hey, hold on a second. We didn't, not that I would know anything about that. But yeah, that's today's episode.
What you guys don't know is, from the waist down, we are completely nude.
Oh shit!
Just from the top up, we're dressed, but from the top down, we're wearing the shorts that you would see in Sleepaway Camp.
Yep.
And but before we get into that, do you want to do our segment, the gory hole?
The gory hole.
The gory hole.
The gory hole.
Why are you putting the sound effect if we have a sound effect before it anyway.
Sound effect after sound effect.
Oh, wow. You're having too much fun with the soundboard.
A little bit.
Okay, so if you're tuning in for the first time, our Gory Hole segment is a segment where we like to discuss the goriest thing we saw this week. Not necessarily the movie we watched this week, but the goriest thing we saw, period. May it be movies, video games, real life. Yeah, real life. If you saw someone get decapitated in real life,
yeah,
that's the goriest thing we saw.
It happens.
More than you know.
Especially in the mean streets of London.
Of Liverpool.
That's what I said.
You said okay. Would you like to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
Okay, so this week I'm going to discuss a new movie that just dropped a few weeks ago, like a month now, right?
Brand new scoop.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about Evil Dead Rise, and one particular moment that made me cringe is there's a scene where I want to say she's the oldest daughter. I forget her name is. I think it's Bridget or Beth.
Well, we don't have to spoil it for everybody.
Yeah, well, okay.
Actually, yeah, we do, because it's the Gory Hole.
Yeah.
So it's going to be spoiler full.
Yeah. So she has just been infected with the curse or whatever, a demon, and she's in the kitchen, and her aunt, who is like the final girl in the movie, walks in, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she's chewing on glass. So you see this in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
She's chewing on glass, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she's just like, she looks back, and she's like, "I've got bugs in my tummy, and I'm trying to kill them." And you see her bite down on the glass and then swallow a shard. And as it's going down her neck, you see the point. Just like,
I'm going to be sick.
Ugh. It's like, think like when you're eating Doritos and you get that one Dorito that you don't chew all the way and it goes down your throat.
That stale Dorito at the bottom?
Oh, and it like pokes your throat on the way down. Think that, but like 10 times worse.
Well, yeah, because it's glass.
Because it's glass. And it's poking through her
jugular.
Yeah. But it doesn't like slice through. She just swallows it. But yeah, that was probably the most like cringe moment of the movie. Like
disgusting.
I had to close my eyes watching that part. Everything else, awesome.
Would you recommend it?
Oh yeah, totally. Not the best one, but it's probably up there.
I mean, it's a strong list of movies that the Evil Dead have.
Yeah.
Very strong list. But that was your Gory Hole moment.
Yep.
Gross. I like it. I can't wait to see it. My Gory Hole moment was from an also kind of new movie, Sisu. And the moment, not to go too much into it, but the moment that was when I realized, oh, this is going to be just a whole bunch of gore, is the main character is on his horse running away from Nazis, and they're kind of chasing him towards a certain direction, and then they stop, and he keeps going, and then his horse explodes, and then you realize he's in a minefield, and so now he's like standing still because he's in a minefield, you know.
Was he on the horse when it exploded, or the horse? So you got blown off the horse?
Oh no, like the horse exploded, but because horses are like thick and muscular, he was fine. And the horse, you see everything, it just blows up. And so he falls and he collects himself, and now he's like trying to stand still till the Nazis get there. So one Nazi walks up to him, and he's got a little piece of our hero has a little piece of gold in his pocket.
Nazi gold?
No, he's mining for his own gold. It's a long story. And so he grabs it out of his pocket, and he sees a mine like pretty close by. So he throws it at the mine, and it explodes, not hurting anyone, but it makes a big dust cloud. So the dust cloud makes it so they can't see him. And I don't know how he does this, but he finds another mine and somehow picks it up without having it explode, throws it So you just see a mine like flying like a disc out of the dust, and it lands on top of the Nazi's head, facing down. So it explodes, but explodes downward. So the Nazi explodes into the ground.
It just flattens him.
Yeah. you can imagine how...
I need to see this.
It's basically Nazis versus senior John Wick.
Old man John Wick.
Yeah. They give him the same treatment, like one Nazi is like, oh, I remember him. They used to call him the boogeyman. He fought all the Russians in World War One.
The Baba Yaga.
And I'm like, okay, I get it. You didn't clearly have a story. You just had a lot of ideas for gore. So let's just call him Old John Wick. But the scenes are really
so
gory.
They definitely worked from the gore backwards.
Yes. They're
like, yeah, I have an awesome idea for a death scene. How do we integrate it into a movie?
What's a good movie right now? John Wick.
Let's do that.
We'll change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my gory hole moment for this week. Thank you, everybody. We're here all week.
All right. So
now we're going to go into
our actual movie topic for the day.
Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp. Which is funny because
when was the first time you saw this movie?
So I saw this movie. I've only seen it once, but I had heard about it, and I had mentioned to a friend that I'd never seen it. And shout out to that friend Sterling.
Shout out to Sterling for dropping some DVDs on us. Yeah,
exactly. And he gives the greatest gifts ever. Just random.
You're telling me. No, I'm just joking.
like random gifts too. Like you can mention something like 10 years ago and he'll just pop it up and give it to you. So I had mentioned that I'd never seen Sleepaway Camp. And one day we had lost like touch for like a few years. I called him up to hang out. And he was like, oh, here you go. Happy birthday. It was like a month or two after my birthday. And he gives me a wrapped up gift. And I open it up, and it's a copy of Sleepaway Camp. I was like, sweet.
You're like, what the fuck is this?
What is this garbage? You just throwing garbage away? But no, so it was touching.
So you saw it when you were like in your teens?
No, I was like 20.
So you saw it in your 20s?
Yeah.
I saw it around the same time too.
Yeah.
Because it was, I've never heard of it. But I have seen back in high school, I had a Fangoria magazine.
Yeah.
And it was like showing like crazy endings in horror movies.
And this one definitely has one of the most bizarre endings ever.
I don't think so. I mean, I still don't understand why they went that way and why it's a twist. Because there's a twist and then there's a second twist after. I don't get the second twist. I get the first twist because I'm like, yeah,
obviously.
But the second twist, I was like, what does that have to do with anything? Why is it now like a big deal? Like the big deal for me was the first one because that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And then the second one comes in and I'm like, you could have ended it 2 seconds earlier.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have gotten that weird face at the end of the movie.
Yeah, not a real face, by the way.
It wasn't?
I looked it up. It's some guy that they paid to wear that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the first time I saw it, I had read that part in Fangoria, and then later on, I looked it up online, and I saw it there. And I was like, this is not what I expected from this great ending that everyone's talking about. And then you see the movie and you're like, oh, this is ridiculous. I love it.
This is great.
I love that. It's the most 80s campy movie you can think of.
Campy is correct.
Yeah.
I mean, being set in a summer camp.
I think set in summer camp.
Yeah.
Checklist. Summer camp.
Yes. Weird pedophiles.
Check. A whole bunch of different characters going from like little kids to teenage counselors two adults.
Yeah.
To the senior that's like running the whole thing.
Yeah. Booty shorts.
He's got like a crush on one of the older camp counselors. I don't know what that was.
Everyone has booty shorts.
Crop tops, booty shorts. There's like a 10-minute long baseball game scene.
For no reason.
Yeah. There's a lake in the camp where, things go down. But yeah.
I haven't seen it, but is there teenage sex in it?
It's like...
Is there gratuitous boobs?
No, there's not.
Okay, good, because it centers around a lot of children.
Yeah, so they didn't do that.
Okay, good.
It's kind of implied. You don't see it.
I
think the most you see is like teenage makeout, and even then it only lasts like a couple seconds before someone knocks on the door like, hey, what's going on in there, you guys?
Good. Because it's all children.
Yeah, so I saw that after I found it on Fangoria. But
awesome.
But I've been watching it a couple times afterwards when I just feel like watching something really cheesy that's still got some good gore in it. I
was going to say, this movie it's not good.
No,
but
I love it.
It's the acting is horrible.
Yeah.
The story is
yeah.
The plot twist is okay.
Yeah. But the second plot twist got everybody for some reason.
Yeah, it's definitely the face. That's the thing.
I think it's because it had that
my namesake.
Yeah, your namesake. I don't know why we're dancing around it. We talked about it right at the start.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, if we're gonna talk about it, let's get into the movie then.
Act 1.
So Act 1, we open up the movie with shots of what looked like a dilapidated Camp Arawak. And then we move into what, like a family, like a dad and his two kids on this.
These very New York, like little kids. They talk like they're from like they've been around the lake a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got like thick New York accents. They look.
It's my turn to drive the boat around the lake.
I'm walking here.
Hey,
I'm boating here. But yeah, so they're out on the lake and they're enjoying it. The dad is wearing the shortest of shorts.
This whole movie,
just every man.
They must have saved so much money on all those short shorts because they must have cost like what, $1 each.
Yeah, like
there was nothing there.
Nothing left to the imagination. Everything is outlined perfectly.
That's right.
But yeah, they're having fun on the lake and they accidentally flip their boat.
I'll flip my boat.
Yeah, so they flip their boat and
it's just kids being kids.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we get a shot of like 3 teens on another boat.
Oh yeah, they also have thick New York accents.
Yeah, everyone has thick New York accents. Mm-hmm. But 2 of the teens are driving the boat and they're arguing about letting the girl drive. And the
you can't let women drive boats. Come on, man. This is the 70s.
Like, the kid's like, the girl's like, oh, my dad has one, and he's like, well, is he gonna give me a job when I let you drive?
Bitch.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And
then she rubs his leg, and he's like, all right, you got me.
Yeah, exactly.
You take the wheel, what the hell.
And she accidentally floors it.
Oh, yeah. She goes straight for the family that's swimming by the lake.
Yeah, the family. And it takes so long for the boat to connect with them. Like, it just keeps cutting back and forth to, like, the family, like, trying to move out of the way, and the kids screaming to turn the wheel.
Yeah, their slow attempt to turn the wheel. Yeah. And what's she screaming about? I don't know. Let's just keep looking behind us.
Yeah, exactly.
As we're driving this boat full speed.
And then it connects. They like jump off the other boat, hitting both the dad and the kids.
Yeah.
And the girl that was jet skiing is just screaming her lungs out.
This girl was going for her Oscar.
Yeah,
this was
the Oscar nomination role. And she's just screaming her lungs out.
Oh my god! Yeah. The kids! I can't believe we killed them!
And everyone else is just like deadpan.
Yeah, no one helped. Everyone's just staring around.
Just deadpan. And
8 years later.
It cuts 8 years later. And we see the kookiest mom ever.
Angela!
She's just... This lady is such, so...
I love this lady, dude.
She's nutty. Like,
oh, yeah.
She'll be talking and then she'll just start thinking out loud and like looking off into
we have to hurry up. We don't want to be late. No, we don't want to be late.
Yeah, and she's just staring off into the distance.
No, that won't do.
But she's definitely one of my favorite characters in this movie because she's so kooky and weird.
She looks like she came straight out of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but definitely that or like a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah,
like just a kooky,
she's got that look and she's got that personality.
Yeah, of a Tim Burton character. Mm-hmm. Like she looks like one of the animated characters from like Corpse Bride.
Yeah,
real life.
She's got those big eyes that they're so wide,
slender face with like sunken cheeks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she's just weird.
Very eccentric.
Yeah. So she sends the kids off to camp.
Right.
8 years later, it's Ricky and his cousin Angela, which we're assuming is one of the survivors from the accident.
Right.
So they head off to camp, and they finally get to camp, and we get shots of just like all sorts of just kids and stuff like that, and adults playing kids,
seniors hanging around,
and the grossest like pedophile cook ever.
It's pretty early in the movie to get the creepy pedo guy at the camp.
Like immediately he's like, look at all the fresh chicken.
Yeah, we call that bald where I come from.
Baldies where we come from.
How come no one's shooting this man right now? Someone give me a crossbow, dude.
And then just randomly we get a cameo from James Earl Jones' dad.
Yeah, it's Darth Vader Sr.
Yeah, Darth Vader Sr. as the token black character.
Yeah. He's like, oh, they're too young to think about what's on your mind.
And he just like laughs it off. Like,
you sick freak.
but yeah, so we're introduced to all the camp kids, and then we're introduced to Paul, which is Ricky's best friend.
Yeah.
Ricky's best friend, and he's just like...
Ricky's cool. He's like trying to introduce him to Angela.
Yeah, Ricky's a cool cousin. And he's got like some awesome comebacks and stuff like that. And
you don't expect the cool kid to also be genuinely nice.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like the nice, popular kid on in the camp.
Yes, and he's showing Angela around. He talks to Paul,
and then he meets his Paul with what was her name? The mean girl?
Judy.
Yeah, he's like, did you see Judy?
She's huge, dude. He's like, no way. He's like, oh, you'll see.
Right in front of Angela.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, me and Judy went steady last year at summer camp.
And we meet Judy, who's the mean girl. He's like
13.
She's 13 and she's talking to like 30-year-olds.
Yeah, there's like 3 men in like camp uniforms, and he's like, hey, Judy. And she's like, yeah, turns like
treats him like a little boy.
Yeah, can't you see I'm talking to the men here?
It's just so gross, man. There's so much like weird like child molester stuff in this movie.
Yeah, but it was also like that summer camp thing where all the guys would like talk about like the girls and like which ones they had crushes on.
Yeah,
and then like the most popular girl didn't want any of them because they were into the older guys.
Yeah, she's definitely definitely the girl.
She's the diva in this movie.
She's definitely that girl that you knew in high school that is like, my boyfriend's 25.
Yeah, my boyfriend's a rapper. Check out his SoundCloud link. Once he gets out of his mom's basement, we're gonna move in together.
Yeah, he wants to propose to me when I turn 18.
Do you guys want beer? My boyfriend can buy it for us.
But yeah, so everyone goes to their cabins and stuff like that, and then Angela goes to the girls' cabin where she meets Judy, and Angela does not talk. No. She's just like cold-faced to everyone.
Right.
Doesn't speak, doesn't say a word. And
she just stares.
She just stares, and everyone all the girls just like hate her and think she's just weird. Mm-hmm. And then we get the
I think it's like time for them to eat.
Yeah, so right? It's dinner time. It's
lunch, I think.
Lunch or dinner.
They're eating.
Okay, so this movie has a weird time dynamic because it doesn't tell you how many days or anything like that.
They'll just talk about a past scene. You remember last week when we did this?
But when they get to that dinner scene, it's already been 3 days.
Yeah.
And the male head counselor comes up to him. He's like this big buff dude with the shortest shorts, where you can see his like full dong in them.
His dick and balls were out, dude. They're bulging through the shorts. Yeah. Those shorts were suffocating him.
But he's also like he's built, but he's also like the nicest camp counselor in any movie.
Yeah,
like, he actually cares, but he's concerned about Angela, who hasn't eaten in 3 days.
Mm-hmm. He's like, clearly you need to eat if you want to be this fucking ripped.
He's like, we gotta
You want to get these guns, Angela?
We gotta get you
some
some
raw eggs.
some protein or some
Yeah.
creatine.
Yeah, let's go to the back. Let's go back and find you something to eat.
So he takes Angela back to the kitchen and introduces Angela to that
To the pedophile.
Yeah, to the creepy pedophile guy.
Like, what the heck?
And the whole time he's just like,
Hey, Angela.
"Hey, sweetie, like you want to go into the
Gross,
back
dude.
room to find
I
something?"
got something for you to eat. And I'm just like, why do you guys still have him here?
Why is
He doesn't hide it. He tells you guys all about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the owner of the camp just hires ex-cons.
Yeah. The 70-year-old man with a cigar that he's been smoking for 3 days straight.
So, he doesn't even smoke it. He just puts it in his mouth and just lets it soak up saliva.
Oh my god, soggy cigars, dude.
Who also, I'm pretty sure, is a pedophile because in one scene he smacks one of the counselors' asses.
Yeah, he's like 70 years old, and the counselors are like, what, 17?
18.
Yeah, and he's like grabbing their asses and trying to flirt with them.
But yeah, so he introduces Angela to the pedo cook.
Gross.
And he takes her into the back walk-in closet.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I got something for you to eat." And then he starts unzipping his pants. But as soon as he does that, Ricky comes in
Right.
and cock blocks.
What are you doing to my cousin?
Yeah.
I'll beat your ass right now.
But he like pins Ricky up against the wall and he's just like, "You don't tell anybody to anybody or I'll kill you."
I was wishing Ricky would kick his ass, dude.
Just roundhouse kick.
Fight this giant man.
But yeah, so they just run off after that, and he laughs it off, and even James Earl Jones's dad is
I like
like,
how we just call him James Earl Jones' dad.
yeah, he's just like laughing it off, and yeah, we get what?
He's they're talking about the stew that they're making.
Yeah, so it cuts to them making dinner for that night, and it's the biggest pot that I've ever seen.
Ridiculously overly sized pot.
Yeah, this
what was it?
Like
it was like a trash can.
It looks like a trash can. Like they used a metal trash can, and they're putting it up, and they're cooking like a bunch of vegetables in it.
Yeah.
And
Clearly it's not ready.
no, it's not ready. He opens it up, and there's a bunch of steam, and the pedophile is on like a stool.
Yeah.
And he's like salting the water, and then we get a shot of hands that just come into the picture and like push him.
Right.
And these hands
Or clearly like
a man's hands.
yeah.
And he shoves them, and the guy's like, "What are you doing? Like, don't do that. You're gonna make me spill it." And then you see the same hands pull the stool from underneath him, and he just pours that hot boiling water all over him.
Hell yeah, dude.
His skin is
Pour
just
another one on him.
pour one out for the homie.
Yeah.
Pour one out on the homie.
But he fell and he took the entire pot of boiling water
and
straight to his face and arms.
Yeah, and he's just so like blistered up and everything, and it's just
The practical effects were good.
yeah,
for this part.
he's screaming for like 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, so he's screaming the entire time, and you see like little blisters like get bigger and smaller because they're using little air hoses to inflate and deflate. But so they call 911, and he's being wrapped up in bandages,
And he's still screaming. I don't think he stopped screaming. Period. He's just still screaming, and they're like wheeling him out, and one of the paramedics like moves his hand, and he just
Let me just move this over. He closes his bandaged arms, and clearly he's like in pain.
and he screams even louder. But it's funny. It's so funny, man. And then the owners just tells all the cooks like, "Don't tell anybody this happened." Like,
The owner's so stupid. He was like, he goes to the doctor. He's like, "What's the prognosis, doc?" He's fucking burned. What do you think?
but yeah, so he goes up to the one black character in this movie and
There's
tells
like 4 of them.
Is there?
They're all in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. That's awful. All the
Yeah.
black people are in the kitchen. I don't think there was any black like camp kids or any counselors.
I didn't see any, but I didn't like the owner. As soon as I saw him have like 4 of the only 4 black people
only
working there,
minor-
all in the kitchen. Oh, it didn't work. Hold on. It's not working.
No, I think you reset it.
I did reset it.
You reset
I
it.
held it for too long. I didn't want the clapping when all the black people were in the kitchen. I was trying to do the DJ scratch.
Yeah. But yeah, so all the minorities are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But even the children that are minorities, they have their own bunk.
It was off camp.
It's the gardening shed.
Yeah, it's the gardening shed.
But yeah, so he tells them that he's going to pay them more if they just keep their mouth shut and tell them that the pedophile found a new job.
Listen, we can't have the kids being scared that someone got burned alive here with boiling water. So if anyone asks, just say that he found another job and he left.
He fell in love with one of the camp kids.
Ran off. It's legal here in New Hampshire, wherever they're
Arkansas.
at.
But yeah, so it cuts to a baseball game. Like right after that,
Dude, this baseball game lasted like 20 minutes.
oh,
I thought it was just going to be like, oh, Ricky hit a home run and he really showed the other kids, you know? We got a whole game.
yeah, we get a whole game. We get some of the best lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the bullies tells Ricky to eat shit and die, and Ricky with just the straightest face tells that kid to eat shit and live, Billy.
Do that one more time.
Okay, so we get one of the greatest lines from Ricky, one of the best comebacks I've ever heard. One of the bullies tells him to eat shit and die, so Ricky just tells the bully to eat shit and live. You held it too long again.
That was one of the best lines I ever heard. It was so funny.
It was so good. We just got
Ricky, not only super cool, a nice guy, can also clap back at the most.
Exactly. Like that guy is super quick-witted, and they beat the bullies at the baseball game.
Well, they were bullies as soon as we saw them.
Yeah,
you know, they're just talking shit.
they're like 20-year-olds,
Yeah.
picking on like 12-year-olds.
They're betting on the game and they lost.
They lost, and and that camp counselor that has like the smallest shirt ever.
Yeah, the crop top.
The crop top where it's like lion's mane is showing. Like his lion's mane and his ball fro are both showing.
Oh yeah, this is the hairiest camp counselor yet.
Yeah. They only get hairier.
Yeah.
And more. The shorts only get shorter.
And the crops are even smaller.
But yeah, so they win, and they're all cheering Ricky and everything,
Talking a little shit.
talking shit. I mean, this scene goes on a little longer than expected. It like
Way longer.
it like cuts away. You think it's over, and then it's another inning.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we watched 9 innings.
Yeah,
of
we
this.
did. Definitely watched 9 innings of that.
But yeah, so it's that same night, and they're at like a little like gathering.
It's a little dance party is what it looks like.
Yeah, and
All the guys are clearly, bundled together.
yeah,
And all the girls are
there's
sitting,
like
around
5
the
girls
benches.
to every like
30 guys.
yeah. But the bullies decide they want to hit on Angela as a joke.
Yeah.
So
Unless
they
you're too chicken to ask Angela.
Yeah, so they go up to Angela and they're just making fun of her, and then Ricky comes over and defends his cousin because he's the coolest kid in this camp, and they all get into a fight. And what's the mean girl's name?
Judy.
Judy is just staring at them.
Yeah.
Like she's staring at Angela, just looking at her like mean mugging her, while these 2 guys are talking to her.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Angela and Paul.
Right.
Ricky's best friend is talking to Angela, talking about how long him and Ricky have known each other, telling him all the stories, like when
Shenanigans they got into.
the camp shenanigans, like the Porky style shenanigans they got into, like stealing panties and stuff like that.
Yeah, putting the girls' panties on a flagpole.
Yeah, and then it cuts back to Judy and the
She's with 2 men.
the 2 guys she was talking to have grown like exponentially.
They aged like 10 years.
They're completely different guys, different shirts and stuff, but they're all in the same position they were in before. And it cuts back to Paul and Angela, and Paul is leaving because they called all the kids back.
Right.
And Paul tells Angela good night, and this is the first time we hear Angela speak.
Yeah, she says, good night.
Like, and
He looks back, he's like, yeah, good night.
Yeah,
he's like, I got her to talk.
yeah, like he's excited. He shot his shot, and it's clear that she's into him.
Man, what an act. Act 1 was awesome.
Yeah,
It was
full
hilarious.
of just random one-liners. Just you get to meet all the kookiest characters.
Yeah, you get a real sense that this was definitely the director, who was also the writer.
Yeah.
He had definitely met some of these people and heard some of these one-liners. Because this isn't the kind of stuff that are like, writers are going to be like, okay, what's really happening right now? What's a good comeback? Like, no, this like that comeback that he said sounded like legitimate.
Yeah.
Like he heard that when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Eat shit and live, Bill.
Yeah. All right.
Act 2.
Dose.
Act 2. How does Act 2 start? Where we left off at the party.
Yeah. So it was Act 2 starts with right after the party.
Yeah.
It's that same night, and the guys,
All the boys.
all the bullies, all 20 of them,
Yep.
are trying to convince like the 3 girls at the camp to go skinny dipping.
Ladies, come on. Don't you want to go skinny dipping with all of us?
Yeah, and of course the girls are like, nah. So the guys all decide to go skinny dipping with each other.
Yeah, not even like not even like a second goes by, and they're like, "All right, well, screw you, ladies. Hey, boys.
Yeah,
looks like
let's
it's
go,
gonna
guys.
be looks like it's gonna be a lot of
Carrots in that stew.
carrots in this stew. You know, the last one is a rotten egg." Whipping the towels at each other's butts.
Yeah, and then it cuts to two of the bullies smoking pot and laughing by themselves.
That reefer madness is kicking in.
Yeah, and they're talking about how they're gonna try to get one of the girls to go out with them to the canoe.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of the lake. So yeah, so one of the bullies gets one of the girls to go out with him, and he rocks the boat. You know,
don't rock the boat, baby.
Rock the boat. Don't tip the boat, baby.
And they do.
And he does. And she's pissed at him. She calls him a prick.
My hair, you asshole.
Yeah, and she swims back, and he decides to stay out there, and he goes under the canoe, like inside of it, like
you know what that reminded me of?
What?
That part in Pirates of the Caribbean where he used that same tactic.
Oh, to sneak in?
Yeah,
underwater. Yeah. But yeah, so he's sitting there by himself, and you see a head pop up.
Whose head? We don't know.
No, it's all black hair, and it's from behind, and they drown him.
Yeah, they drown him.
And cut to the next morning, and one of the counselors is pissed off because he's got to pick up all the beach.
Look at all this shit on my fucking lake.
Yeah,
you know?
His beach and all that. And he sees the canoe, and he's like, "Who the fuck left this out here?"
Tip the canoe.
Yeah, and he opens it. He tips it back over, and the bully is right there. It looks like he's been decaying for a week. It's got like a snake crawling out.
He's
of its
rotting.
mouth. Yeah,
you know.
It's only been like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours since this happened, but he's already like
he's been dead for days.
days.
That snake coming out of his mouth was a nice touch, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And then we get the paramedics showing up and pulling the body.
Oh yeah, they're holding it. They're holding it the most laziest way you can.
Yeah, it's not on a stretcher. They're like dragging it pretty much.
Yeah,
and
one guy's just holding on to like the tip of it with like his 2 fingers, you know.
And all the kids are watching. Like every kid in that camp is just watching, like them take away one.
Is that a dead body? Yes. Everyone look.
And of course the owner's just like freaking out. He's just like, "God damn it, I'm not gonna financially recover from this shit."
Yeah, put in the meme from
Tiger King.
Tiger King. I will never financially recover from this. We got a second dead body on this camp, and he's worried about. We're never gonna have that camp open now.
Yeah,
like it was a pretty shitty camp to begin with. Yeah. Dude. Did you look at the kitchen?
This is what we get for hiring pedophiles. Cheap labor. But yeah, so the nice camp counselor, the buff guy, you know,
he should be running the camp.
Yeah, he should be running the camp. Every scene he's in, his shorts are getting longer.
Lame.
But
no more crop tops.
Yeah, no more crop tops. He's just like,
what am I paying you for?
But he's telling the owner that, you know, we should just finish out the summer.
Right.
And so yeah, we cut to the next day.
Yeah.
And it shows Paul and Angela getting closer and stuff like that. And of course, guess who comes by all jealous and shit?
Jealous Judy.
Jealous Judy.
You bitch.
and they start talking crap to Angela, making fun of her for not wanting to go into the water.
Of course.
And then Meg, the Meg. She's huge.
She's the muscle of the camp.
Yeah. She comes over and she starts screaming at Angela and shaking her. And here comes the hunky buff counselor, nice guy, and pulls her off of her and takes her off. And then we get it's later that day, right?
Right, it's later that day. Angela is with Paul again.
Paul, and they're just talking, hanging out.
He's like, "Hey, do you want to go to the movies with me? Are we all going to the movies?"
But he means like together.
Come on, as a thing.
And Angela and Meg, the Meg,
Judy and Meg.
Judy and
she's
Meg.
got a T-shirt with her name on it.
Yeah.
This is Judy.
Yeah, just so you didn't know who she was.
Just in case you weren't staring at my boobs that Paul was obviously talking about in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, but they're just like giving Angela like the evil eye and stuff like that from far away.
I can't believe she's getting the boys.
Yeah. So it cuts to that later that night after that.
The movies,
and they're all getting out of the movies, and Paul and Angela are like getting
sitting in a tree.
Yeah, Kissing. And Judy just can't stand them being happy together.
Oh, stroking her sideways ponytail.
Yeah,
that bitch.
Yeah, and Ricky's still trying to get at Judy and stuff like that.
I mean, when I saw Ricky try to be like, "Hey, you remember all the good times we had?" and I was like, "Ricky, you were like the cool kid of the camp. You don't need Judy." But now we see him simping over Judy. And I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and she's too busy like mean mugging
Angela.
And
Paul.
Yeah, because they're getting too close, and she can't stand for that.
Right.
So after Paul gets his kiss, he walks back into the cabin, and all the guys are pranking the nerd kid again.
Right. The first prank was the
butt.
Yeah.
And now it's whipped cream in the hand, and they wake him up, and he's all pissed off, and he pulls out the biggest knife ever and starts chasing him around, and the counselor like grabs the knife out of his hand and hides it.
You were the murderer.
Yeah.
We're caught red-handed.
But he hides it and stuff like that, and it's like the biggest freaking knife ever, and he hides it in a place right in front of everyone.
And nobody look while I put this knife under my towel.
Yeah, exactly. But a little bit of a foreshadow for later with that knife, and we get the next day,
right?
And everyone's at the lake, like a little beach area in the lake, and Paul shows up, and
Angela's not at the lake.
No,
she's watching from afar.
She's watching, always watching. And he sneaks up behind her, does his cute little guess who thing. And and they're just talking about last night and everything. And we just see Judy and the Meg.
Like we're just calling her the Meg, because she's enormous.
She's huge.
Yeah, she towers over everybody.
But they approach her, and Paul, of course, is like,
"I'm out of here."
Yeah, he's
good luck with that.
I don't want any of this. Bye. And Meg comes up, and she starts to
talk shit.
What's
up, Angela? Is that your boyfriend? Heard he's a bitch. Of course, Angela doesn't respond.
No, she just stares at her, and she freaks out and starts shaking her. And she's like, "Why aren't you answering me? You never answer me." And the hunky counselor, the buff one, comes up and starts.
One of the buff ones.
Yeah, the buffest one comes up and stops her and tells her to meet him at his office, pretty much.
Right.
And Judy's all mad because Meg got in trouble because of
her Meg.
Yeah,
where her muscle is gone.
Yeah, exactly. Her right hand. And we transition over to inside the girls' cabin, and and Judy's drying off, and Angela's just sitting there, and Judy's going off on
Angela for getting rid of Meg, basically.
Yeah, for getting
Meg's in trouble.
Yeah, and she starts just talking all sorts of shit, like telling her like, I know why she doesn't want to shower with us or go into the pool. It's because she has no hair down there. She hasn't gone through puberty.
Oh yeah, here comes Judy. So it's funny how because Judy went through puberty first, obviously.
Yeah.
And Angela hasn't. She's making fun of her for it.
Yeah, she's making fun of her, and she calls Angela a carpenter's dream, flat as a board, and what was it? Flat as a board and needs a screw. And she just gets slapped by the nice counselor.
The nice counselor slaps her.
Yeah, the nice counselor slaps Judy in the face. And so Angela's pretty hurt about it, and she walks outside. And as she's walking outside, the bullies, the guys, the boys,
boy bullies. Angela can't catch a break.
No, everyone just hates on Angela, even though she's just quiet.
Well, it's like those. I mean, not to go too deep into it, but I was watching another movie where they were, picking on the quiet girl, and one of them said, "Oh, she's too good to talk to us." So she's looking down on us. So that's kind of like the bully's mentality when someone's not talking to them, is because they think she's better. So she's stuck up. So now they're all thinking about that.
But yeah, so the bullies are up on the roof of one of the cabins.
The boys' cabin.
Yeah, they're just having a water balloon fight on a
What
roof.
are these kids doing, dude?
On a roof?
They're on a roof
Have you
in
ever done
boy
that?
shorts.
Yeah.
Yes, I have done that.
A water balloon fight on a roof?
Every summer.
Yeah, exactly. And they nail Angela with one of the balloons.
Yep.
And of course, Ricky shows up and he's, to the...
You fox!
Yeah, you fox!
I'll kill you!
Yeah.
Get down from here, I'll kick your ass!
And of course, the owner shows up and he's like grabbing Ricky and he's all pissed off at the bullies and the bullies are all, laughing. Mm-hmm. And, they walk away like cowards.
Right.
And they go back to their cabin and the head bully decides he wants to go take a wicked dump, in his words.
As he would say.
Yeah. And he goes into the bathroom and the rest leave. Mm-hmm. And we just get a shot of hands putting a broomstick.
You see the hands and a rather large knife cut through the window.
Yeah, well,
the little screen window.
Yeah, well,
and then you see.
Yeah, you see the broomstick go through the door, the handles, the lock, close.
Oh, I thought you meant the broomstick that was going through the window.
No. To shut him into the bathroom, so he can't get out. And then from behind him, I don't know what kind of bathroom this is. There's just a big, huge screen window.
Kind of bathroom.
Yeah, right behind you when you're taking a dump.
Yep.
And you just see a knife just poke through the screen and cut a little slit in there. And then a beehive just go in through the slit and drops it right into the bathroom with the bully.
Right.
This was the most Home Alone kill ever. And of course, he's freaking out, yelling and trying to get out, but he can't because that broomstick is in the way.
Oh, I just realized.
What?
That that death is comical now, but it's actually very sad in that movie My Girl. Where's his glasses? He needs his glasses.
Yeah, but this guy, fuck this guy. He can. But yeah, it cuts to his dead body, and there's just 1,000 bees all over his face.
Yep.
And again, I think the paramedic. No, it cuts to the office of the owner after that, and he's just freaking out.
Oh yeah, he talks about he thinks it's Ricky.
Yeah, he thinks it's Ricky. He's just going crazy. He's like,
Ricky was saying, "I'm gonna kill you, fucks." You know?
I'm gonna kill you, fucks.
Yeah, he's he had to hold him back to not let him fight all these bullies. So he's gonna think, Ricky's number one suspect.
Yeah, but so he's all pissed off and he's on a manhunt now to find the killer. And at the same time, Angela is outside.
Right.
And we see someone sneak up on her, and it's Paul. And
suspicious,
but it's kind of sweet because they decide to go sneak out, and they go up by the lake, and they're playing around. She knocks him down, and he chases after her, and they start to kiss on the beach. And he's getting a little handsy for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I know, right? I was geez, relax, kid.
Relax. But he's trying to fondle her.
Those hormones are going wild.
And as he's fondling her,
Angela's wait, hold on, man. Take it easy. He's come on.
It's okay.
It's
Come on,
right.
you like this. But she starts to look off into the distance, and we get a flashback.
Yeah, it's a flashback
of her and her brother sneaking into their dad's room, and their dad is in bed with another man.
Right.
And
the guy from
the beginning of the movie.
Beginning that was watching them.
Yeah, as they died.
Yeah.
But they're just watching and giggling and stuff like that. They think it's funny watching two dudes get it on. And then there's this weird scene of them in a bed, the two children, Angela and her brother, and it's spinning around them, and the little boy is pointing at Angela, and his fingers just getting closer and closer, and it's just weird. And then it cuts back to
Angela making out with not making out, but
Paul fondling her, and she freaks out and pushes him off and runs away.
That's right. I do not consent.
Yeah. And she's just no more of this, and it runs off, and Paul's just kind of left there with blue balls or something.
That's what you get, Paul.
Yeah, pervert.
Yeah.
And then it's the next day, and it's they're playing Capture the Flag.
Good old Capture the Flag.
Yeah, nothing bad could happen when you're playing Capture the Flag.
Of course not.
But
Get ready to be traumatized.
Yeah, Judy sees Paul by himself, and she walks over to him and starts talking to him. And
hey, I got something to show you, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. She's like,
Come
oh yeah,
the woods.
Angela didn't give you what you wanted. I can. So they sneak off together, and Angela sees them and decides to go back to the cabin. She's kind of not having it.
No.
But of course, Ricky shows up whenever Angela's not having a good time, and he's like trying to convince her to like play capture the flag.
Yeah, get your mind off things,
Yeah, and then so they take a little shortcut and they walk into Paul
the forest.
Yeah, they walk into the forest through like poison ivy and shit.
Yeah, I know.
But they stumble upon Paul and Judy kissing.
Oh my god!
And Angela's
Paul, you idiot.
Angela's just upset, you can tell.
Yeah.
And she just takes off. And
Judy's so proud of herself.
Yeah, Judy's like
Judy's a soap opera character.
She's such a smug bitch.
Yeah.
And Paul's like chasing after Angela, and Judy's just laughing, and Ricky calls her like, what does he call her? Like despicable or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And she's just like,
fuck off.
Yeah. And I believe it cuts to the next day, and they're back at the lake, and of course, Judy being Judy comes over to or Paul is trying to apologize to Angela,
right.
and she's not having it, so he kind of walks away, and Judy takes another chance to mess with Angela. Her and the Meg.
Yeah, the Meg is back.
The Meg is back, and they're just
Meggier than ever.
Yeah. And Meg just grabs her and decides that they're going to throw her into the lake.
Oh, yeah, because she doesn't want to go into the water again.
Yeah.
So they're going to make her.
Yeah, so they grab her and they're walking her over to the little dock area. And
luckily, Ricky sees her.
Yeah, Ricky's trying to go and rescue her, but the owner is just like, no, you're going to stay here.
Why is that owner? Why would you want to stop Ricky from helping his cousin?
Who's about to drown.
Yeah.
But he suspects Ricky is the killer because he so happens to be there when any time that Angela's like being harassed, someone dies, and then he shows up.
Right.
But yeah, so they throw her into the water, and she starts to drown, and Ricky is able to pull her out, and they sit back down. He's consoling his cousin, and Judy and Meg. Just kind of laugh and walk away.
Right. Bitches.
Bitch. So
Act 3.
Tres.
Act 333.
Trois.
How does Act 3 start? We start with the counselors, right?
Yes. So Act 3 is later that night.
Later that night.
And the head counselor is telling everyone who's working and who's off. And he gives the Meg the night off, and the other guy has to take the little ones to
camp outside in the woods.
Yeah, to camp outside in the woods. And so Meg, after the meeting is adjourned, she walks over to the owner, and she's like, "Oh, hey, remember that dinner you owe me?"
Oh my god!
I'm like, "Ew, dude."
Meg, not only are you a terrible counselor,
you're a terrible person,
and you also want this old,
wrinkly man all over you, and he's also a pedophile. Gross. So all the kids go to the social that's going on that night, and the Meg goes to try to take a shower to freshen up.
Yeah, she tells Judy, hey, is the water still running in the other one? Because this first shower is full of girls getting ready for the social.
Yeah, so she goes by herself off to the other empty cabin to shower. And as she's showering, we see a knife just stab her right in the back.
Bam.
And then it drags it down her back, and she's dead.
Yeah, you see not a lot of blood, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, so... you just see her screaming and then dead. And then we get...
It cuts to the social again.
Yeah, and, Paul's walking in, and Angela's walking out, and he's, trying to apologize. And
Come on, Angela, give me one more shot.
One more shot.
Fuck off, Paul. Are you kidding me? You're making out with Judy in the woods?
Yeah, guys make mistakes.
I'm surprised Ricky didn't kick his ass.
Yeah,
dude.
Exactly.
You're looking for boys, Paul.
But Angela's like, okay, just meet me out by the lake.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
Why the lake? She's afraid of water.
Yeah, so, he goes to wait outside the lake. Cut that part out.
Cut entirely, because I forgot what's happening.
All right. So once Angela,
So now we see Paul. Now we see Paul and Angela coming out of the social.
And it cuts to the poor guy who's got to take the kids out to the woods.
Oh, he's pissed.
He's
like,
pissed.
Goddamn kids, I gotta take them out of the cold in the woods.
And
you kids suck.
Yeah, the kids wake up, and two of them wake up, and they're like, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting
You're gonna make me cut so much, dude.
I'm so tired. But two of the kids wake up, and they're like, we're cold, and the guy's like, fuck, man. So he grabs the two kids, and they head back to the camp.
He looks back at the other four kids and he's like,
they'll be okay.
They'll be alright.
They'll be alright. And as they leave, we see like a POV of someone grabbing the hatchet. And then we cut to the pervy owner looking for Angela.
Hey, where's Meg? You guys see Meg anywhere? Because I thought we had something to do tonight. You know what I'm saying?
He's got his love-making pants.
Oh my god, he's wearing bright green pants. I don't even find pants like that. He's got a yellow overshirt on.
But yeah, he's looking for Meg, and they tell him to look at the cabin.
Yeah.
So he goes to the cabin, and he walks in on Judy making out with someone, and
the classic, quick, get under my bed so they won't see you.
Yeah, hide. And then he asks Judy, like, have you seen the Meg?
Yeah.
The Jason Statham movie? Yeah,
I've seen it. It's great.
But she's just like, oh, she went to shower like an hour ago. He's like, okay. So he walks away.
Like, without me?
Giddy.
He's got the shirt for it.
The pants. But he goes over to the next cabin, and the boy like pops back up, and he's just like, you don't think I can do this? I don't want to get caught. And Judy's just like, quit being such a bitch.
Yeah, chicken shit.
But he's just like, nah, and he leaves.
Pass.
And it cuts back to the owner in the empty cabin, and he stumbles upon the Meg.
Yeah, Meg's body just falls out of the shower, and there's a big old crevice going down her line.
A gash like following her spine, and he's just like,
Ricky!
Yeah, he's just like, Ricky, I'm gonna get you. And as he's walking out,
he's losing it.
Yeah, he's losing it, but not really. He's like very calm while he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sucks
as calm as a creepy old guy can be.
Yeah, but he's just like, Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
And as he walks away, he like double takes, like looks at the body, like he's like thinking about it.
Let me just get one more. Let me just cop a field real quick. No, I won't do it.
No, I can't.
She's dead.
Can't.
She's dead.
Well, maybe later. But he leaves, and we cut back to the counselor coming back to the woods and
to check up on those kids that he left behind.
And they are just shredded,
chopped up sleeping bags.
Yeah,
blood everywhere,
and he just throws up
from the sight of little kids, dude.
Just murdered children. All right, so
he's vomiting everywhere.
Yeah, he's vomiting everywhere, and we cut to the hunky main counselor, getting at the phone call.
Hell yeah!
That a couple of kids are dead.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
I have a. Oh shit!
Too late. But yeah, so he's panicking. He calls the sheriff. The sheriff shows up. Same one from earlier. And
oh yeah.
But this time, instead of a real mustache, he has that fake mustache.
His shitty mustache that's just like, it looked like it was painted on.
Yeah. But they start the search for the missing kids. or the missing kids and stuff like that. And while that's going on, Ricky wakes up and
yeah, Ricky's been
Like-
in his bed because he was sick from dinner. That's what they say.
yeah. So, but he finally feels good and he's heading to this social to grab some food and stuff. And as he's walking out, you know, the owner sees him and grabs him, pulls him away to the.
I got you now.
Yeah, I got you, Ricky. I'm gonna get you now.
For everyone you killed. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about,
Yeah,
dude?
He takes him into like the woods and he just starts beating him, like pounding him.
He's dead.
Yeah, and as that's going on, you know, Angela's
He's like, I gotta get out of here.
yeah.
So he walks away from the crime scene.
Yeah, he's running away from the crime scene. But while that's going on, Judy's in her room, and you just see someone come up to her with the curling iron and puts the pillow over her face and just burns her to death with it.
Well, first she whoever was in there just gives her a right hook to the face.
Cold
So
cocks
I was like, hell yeah, get that shit, Judy. She got a punch right in the face.
yeah.
She was asking for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. That one was deserved.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so as the owner is running away, he walks past the archery course, and he looks over and he's like, "No, it wasn't you." Like he's like, "Fuck, I just made a mistake and killed the child." And then he gets an arrow through the neck.
Not so good.
No, I mean it was done better in
Friday the 13th.
But yeah. So, you know, everyone's panicking and they're looking for all the kids, and one of the girls screams and they run over to the cabin and she's just like, Meg,
It's Meg, no.
Meg, and stuff
So
like
dramatic.
that. Yeah.
Great actors.
Such great actors.
They're kids.
Yeah. And then the sheriff finds Ricky's body, and you know he thinks he's dead, but then Ricky lets out a cough, and then we cut to the lake, and Angela tells Paul, "Let's get naked." And
all right,
yeah, he's already
like,
oh yeah,
naked.
hell yeah. His pants are already off.
Paul's so stupid.
Yeah, he's such a dumbass.
Paul's like, he thinks that she's gonna get back with him so quick.
Yeah,
after what he did with Judy.
and yeah, so we cut back to the counselors and they're looking for them, and you know they stumble upon Judy.
And no, Angela.
Yeah, they stumble upon Angela and
Paul.
Paul, and they're just naked, and
But Angela's like holding Paul like in her lap,
yeah,
like, stroking his hair.
Yeah, and
Creepy.
singing, and then you know she gets up and she turns around and you get the biggest reveal of the movie, and it's Angela, and it zooms out and it's just the funniest looking face ever.
Well, you get a flashback.
Yeah, you get a flashback before you see the whole thing, but it's of the mother taking someone in, and it's the little boy from earlier,
From the beginning of the movie.
From the
that
beginning.
little New Yorker.
Yeah, and it turns out it was the boy who lived, not the daughter. But the mom is so crazy and wanted a little girl in the family.
Well, we already have a boy, that we can't have two. That won't do. No, that won't do.
Yeah, she's just staring off. So she this whole time has been forcing
Peter
to dress
be Angela.
to dress up like a girl and be Angela.
Yep.
And then it cuts back to that moment where Angela stands up and it zooms out and it's just a full frontal of a
Little boy's penis.
little boy's penis. Well, it's an adult person's.
Brian, adult boy's penis.
Yeah, adult man's penis.
Yeah.
But it's just like a man's body, but wearing like a fake Angela face, and it's
That's
just
right.
the funniest looking thing ever. It almost looks like the you ever read those old fake newspapers back in the day called like the Weekly World or something?
Weekly World.
And they had a mascot called Bat Boy on the cover.
Bat boy.
And that the image of Angela, the last image before the credits, is just her with her mouth open, just making like the oh shit, just making like the weird like sound from like The Grudge.
She's also holding Paul's decapitated head in her hand.
She's
just by the hair,
just naked too.
Yeah,
and it just ends with that image of her face.
Oh yeah,
looking like Batboy.
No, that face was so like iconic that the actress that played Angela goes to every monster movie convention that you can, and she poses pictures of people doing that same face.
No way, really?
Yeah, every single time.
Is it the same actress for all the movies?
No, this is the only one she was in.
Okay, perfect.
But
yeah, that ending was just ridiculous. Like,
now that ending, the first twist was that it was Angela.
Yeah,
Angela's the killer. You can kind of see it. And in the second twist, Angela is a man. Why was that necessary?
Why was it necessary?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just added dramatic effect.
I don't get it. I have no idea why that's a twist.
Neither do I. Just
because a lot of like reviews that I've seen, they're like, the big twist is that Angela's a boy. But I'm like, okay, so what does that have to do with the story? Why they could have been looking for. They didn't know that it was a man killing people. They just knew it was somebody killing people. A lot of them assumed it was Ricky. But when they found out that it was Angela, they were like, okay, Angel's the killer. And then the next thing is like, oh, Angel's a guy. And that's the big twist. And I'm like, what does that have to do with the manhunt or anything?
Oh, yeah. I honestly think it's an excuse to just show full frontal nudity. Male nudity. Because the worst part is, well, the whole movie doesn't have any nudity until you get to that scene, and it's just a naked man.
Yep.
Like full frontal, wearing a little girl face. I can't
believe it.
It's just so bad.
That guy is uncredited.
Is he?
No one knows who it is.
I hope not.
Every guy, whoever does that, is like, I'm not taking credit for that. No way. No, that wasn't me.
It was cold that day.
It was a lake. There was a lake close by.
It was cold. But yeah, that movie is a classic.
Yeah,
classic camp movie. I think it's a perfect timing because this kind of set off like the summer.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of summer movies.
Yeah.
And this one is, it's a big summer movie. And when it came out, it was going up against a couple big movies, like some Barbra Streisand movie that I can't remember, Yodel or something like that.
Yeah.
And another horror movie that I can't remember. But it did good. It did good at the box office.
Really? This movie did great in the box?
Yes, it did. It was pretty much like the ending made people recommend that movie. You got to see it for this ending. But I feel the opposite. I feel like this movie could have had any kind of ending, and the rest of the movie was good enough for you to watch it because it was so bad that it's great.
No, this movie needed that ending.
Why?
Because it just makes it hilarious.
Makes it hilarious?
Yeah.
You think people would have seen it in theaters if it didn't have that ending?
I don't think so. I don't think if that ending was anything else, this movie wouldn't have been as good.
It needs that penis.
It needs that little boy dick.
Change the Sleepaway Camp logo from a knife going into a shoe to just a dick going into the shoe. But I think the characters in this movie really make the movie solid.
Ricky definitely makes it solid.
Ricky did for sure.
The Meg. Judy.
The Meg.
Buff
counselor number 1. Buff counselor number 2.
The pedophile cook.
Yeah, I'm glad he gets it.
Yeah,
like really early on.
Man.
James Earl Jones' dad.
Yeah, his dad. He was pretty cool.
The lines that they had, the trash talk that they were doing.
Oh,
classic.
The Bullies.
The Bullies. 80s gold. It was really good.
It was a great movie, and I'm glad you picked it. And,
it was good. For our next movie, you had one in mind.
I do have one in mind. It's not as well known, but
I beg to differ.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, nobody knows this movie. No normal people know.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
If you're in the horror community, you might know this movie.
You'll know this movie for sure.
It's Dead Alive. Peter Jackson's Dead Alive.
Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings fame. Peter Jackson of King Kong fame.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Alive. I think he did this one before he did Lord of the Rings.
This was like his first movie, I think.
Bad Taste was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Dead Alive. So, so if you guys want to, come back next week for...
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. You got more movies coming for you.
Definitely watch Dead Alive before next week's episode.
Hell yeah.
This was another episode of Monsters, Movies, and Mayhem. We were your hosts, Murderface, and Brian Little Boy Penis Hidalgo.
Little Man Penis.
Little Man Penis.
Just to be sure.
Yeah.
Monsters, Movies, and Mayhem.